Actually, I'll get it from me. Welcome to the video. Look at this clean drive chain. Film this, Natasha, for us. Thank you very much. Look at that. This is, this is how we get Di2 shifting performance. Look at that. Bam, 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 bam. Just beautiful, crisp shifting, and we get that by using a special lube. This is zero friction, almost. I shouldn't call it zero friction. That's a bit misleading. It's almost zero friction. This is Squirt Lube, not sponsored, but it's fantastic. It's what I've been using the last, 6 or 7 years. Another big tip before we get into how to wax your chain. This is chain wax. This is chain wax lube, the easy way. Get rid of the crock pots and the clotheslines. Another big tip here is make sure that your rear derailleur hanger is straight. All right, if you ever knock your derailleur and it gets bent in, be careful, because then you shift it into the big gog, it gets caught in the spokes, you snap it off, you've got a carbon frame, it will crack up here. So make sure that your derailleur hanger is always straight by making sure the pulleys are lined up with your little cassette there. So I'll show you exactly what I mean. This is important shifting, because we can have a clean chain but a bent hanger, your shifting is going to be crap. So look at this hanger here. The pulleys want to be in alignment, okay? If they're not, because they've been hit and it's bent the hanger, you need to straighten that hanger up before you do any of this. Otherwise, your gears won't work properly. Another thing as well is you want to check your cable housing, make sure there's no cracks or splits in there. If there is, you need to replace that. Any fraying of the gear cable can cause shifting issues, all right? So take care of these things and then clean your stuff, and then you'll have the perfect, this bike works so good, this bike works so good. You don't need Di2. I mean, I got Di2 at ETAP, but really, you don't need it. All you need to do is give your bike a bit of TLC, and it's going to be just as good as gold. Good to go. Zero friction almost. That's still so smooth. There's minimal friction here. This is 105/10 speed. Look at that, it's just shifting so incredible fast. Beautiful. And we've cleaned that chain. Now I'm going to show you how to clean this chain, how to get it race ready. Clean bike's a fast bike. Let's go. How to wax a chain. This is, take this chain off the bike. What we've done, I'll show you quickly. This is how to wax a chain so quick. We've got a speed link on here, so just separate that. Use the pliers. You know how to use that. Then you can reuse these. This is a shock from the S-Works. It's the Brain Shock S-Tune. S-Fail. Anyways, we've got Birdseed, S-Works shocks, Dogma frame, lightweights, camera out of zoom. Got a clean cassette. This is really important. I clean the cassette. Ideally, it's good if you'd start that from, as soon as your cassette's brand new. I'll use a bit of this stuff. Use a bit of that on a bit of a rag. Just hand polish it. All right, minimal solvents, because this isn't good for the environment. So the less you can use, the better. So we've got a speed link up there. I'm going to pull this chain off. Try not to scratch the paint. Do it one-handed. This is how we do it here. Boom. Just like, remember that time I had the King Cobra in Thailand? I'm going to drop this chain on the rag. We're going to, out of the bin, out of the recycling bin, we're going to open this bad boy up. Just between the legs. This is the lube I use, Squirt. It's good for the bedroom, good for the bike. Actually, it's not good for the bedroom. Don't do that. Alright, so pop the thing open. Got the King Cobra. Remember that time in Thailand, the King Cobra, holding it by the tail. This camera's not zooming. And then we've got to drop it in. Oh. Come on. There we go. There we go. Just controlled. And you just drop it in like that. That goes in. Shake it in. This is our shaker bottle. Alright? This is our shaker bottle. This is how we wax chains, man. On the road. No, I mean, waxing chains with the little hot pots and stuff and the slow cookers. That's cute, but it's not real world. It's not real world, and it's just overkill. It's overkill. I've done it before. This stuff, just as good. And it's just so much more pragmatic. I'm having a hard time opening this with one hand. There we go. Here we go. Alright, and we're just going to pour just a little bit in there. Just a little bit in there. There we go, that's enough. Less is more when it comes to solvents. Close that so the cats don't knock it over, a bit in the fingers, wipe it off. Put the lid on. And there we go, this is our shaker. This is how you wax your chain. And you only have to really do this once a year. Give it a good shake. Alright, it's ready. Ready to clean. Alright, look at that. Bingo. I'm going to take this out. I'm going to chuck it in a rag. This is Deliveroo. How much solvent we got in the bottom there? I've got a bit of solvent in the bottom. So I'm going to do this movement where I don't, because I can use that solvent again. And if you, to dispose of solvent, you can just tip it onto the ground and it'll evaporate. Make sure, I wouldn't tip it on this ground because there's cracks, there's bugs that live in there, it'll kill the bugs. Ideally, you put it on the street or a big concrete area, just, you know, small bit, and it just evaporates otherwise it goes in the waterways. We don't want that. Let it evaporate up. But I'll reuse this solvent again and again, alright? That can just be used again and again. You can even leave the bottle open and it'll evaporate as well. But I'll use that again for other chains. I'm going to put the camera down and fish this one out, and I'll show you how to clean it. And then tip it upside down, the chain drops down, and I'll take the lid off and I can fish it out. But I'll need 2 hands for that. In there, so not much at all been used, and we can reuse that. We can reuse that for another chain. Use it over and over and over again, alright? And this is what the lazy people don't want to do, is they don't want to use a rag and polish it, alright? This you don't have to do this very often. So I'm going to give it a hand polish, and I'll show you the finished product. With your chains on your bike, put the chain back on with a little speed link there, put it in the right link, make sure you loop it through properly, and then I apply the squirt, give it a good shake up first, boom, 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 and then boom, there you go there, just along like that. Alright, take the lid off obviously, and you're just going to drip it along the bottom of the chain, just along there, alright, and then you back pedal as you're doing it. Just do it slowly, take your time. And this is my favourite lube, squirt. It just works so well. It's the go, you know. Waxing and that, I've done that, it just takes too much time and faff. This is so quick. This is 5 minutes, you know, clean, lube, go, ready to roll. Another tip before I put the lube on is I use what's just a polish rag, you know, from the cupboard, and just give that chain a bit of a polish, just get a little bit extra grit off of it, and there we go. You just spend a little time on that, put an audiobook on, get the kids to do it, get the kids to clean your bikes, you know. Minimal solvents, minimal fuss, and then you're good to go. Look at that shiny stuff, look at that shiny. With waxing, you have to wait for it to set and cook it up, and it's just... it's faff, it's fun. What I learned from waxing is clean chains, alright? I learned how to clean my chain better with waxing, so I'm grateful for that. Clean cassettes, clean chain rings, beautiful. But squirt lube for the win, and there you go. Can you get a zero friction drive chain? That's not possible. Let's call it minimal friction. Minimal friction. I'm in bed now. Hopefully you enjoyed that. Hopefully you enjoyed that video. If you do, give it a thumbs up. If you don't, give it a thumbs down. Grease your hands in bed. That's why I have dark colour sheets. Life of the mechanic, baby. Life of the bike mechanic. I really get a lot of joy out of fixing up bikes, getting them ready, getting them race ready. And for me, every day is a race. Every day is race day. And I just love having bikes that work. And for many, many years, I didn't know how to tune gears, and I'd take it to the shop and get them to do it. And I realised, I'm like, I need to learn how to do this, you know. And so I just invested time. You know, have your carbs, have you some water, and just relax and just take time out, you know, every few days or whatever, just to learn that skill of mechanics. And having the gears dialed, a bike feels so much better having gears that go click, 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 bang, 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 versus crunch and skip, and you know, so, and it can be very frustrating at the start, right? It can be very frustrating. Don't get frustrated when you're fixing bikes, all right? Breathe in, relax, you know, and just get it going, you know. And what I like to do in my life is get a lot of rest. You might think, hey, Harley's buzzing off his chops in this video. He's high on something. I ain't on nothing. There's no caffeine. There's nothing in my system. I've been resting so much this year, just catching up and resting. So I get there's manic phases where you can just, you know, it's like a cat or a dog, you know. Like just the dog rests as much as it can, and then when it's time to play ball, it's ready to roll. So that's what I recommend in life, is get rest, get as much rest as you need. Live a life where you can get as much rest. It's good for your adrenals, good for your kidneys, good for your balls, good for your brain, good for your mental health. Get as much rest as you need, and very, very rarely use stimulants. All right? Very, very rarely. Use music instead. You know, music's one of the best stimulants out there, and there's no side effects, and it's free, and it's good for your adrenals. So that's my tip there, is you know, waxing chains with squirt wax. That's what I use, squirt wax. You can use the crock pots and the ultrasonic cleaners, and I'll be honest with you, I've used those things before, and it's just extra faff. It's overkill, all right? It's like road disc. Some people swear by it, and I'm like, I've done it before. It's overkill in my opinion, in my experience. Not my opinion, my experience, which is for my experience, for my opinion. And then you can pay other people to do it. It's like, come on, clean your chain yourself. You can do it yourself. You know, get your kids to do it. Teach your kids bike mechanics skills. And I think that the more bike mechanics out there we have, the better bike experience everyone has. Because most people have never actually ridden a nicely tuned bike, let alone a bike that fits them, or a bike that's lightweight, you know. And it's, that sort of pains me, that, you know, I want to teach people these mechanical skills. There's great videos out there from GCN or these bike shops. They do gear testing, gear tuning tips. So you just learn it spend time out, and YouTube's a fantastic resource. Anyway, that's me signing off. About to go put some carbs on. Carb it up, vegan style, and we'll see you next video. Thanks for watching. Bam. You got any questions? Hit us up down below. Squirt lube for the win. Clean chains. It feels good, man. Just getting a bike dialed. Dialed. Love it, man. Love it.